Red 2 standing by, all for lit and in the green. Welcome back to Super Mario Sunshine. And you might notice that things are a bit duller, and if I stop, my shine count is a lot lower and I have no blue coins. Excuse me. There is a reason for this. Somehow, I think I might have accidentally deleted it, but I got rid of the footage for episodes 13 and 14, which kind of sucks, because a lot of hard work was lost. It's very unfortunate. So I've basically got to do a lot of what was in those again. This means that I have to go through the remaining shines in Pina Park and the start of Sirena Beach. Assuming I don't fall off the blasted cannon again. So we've probably run our course with the cannon jokes, maybe I had some new ones set up, but... Anyway, we need to go back to the Yoshi Go Round secret and take on that. I might use this file to actually show off where all the blue coins are and make comprehensive records of them. I did also have a fairly funny moment when I was messing around with the swipe and stews because I was looking for blue coins on the beach. One of them stole my hat. I wound up spraying it with Yoshi and my hat slowly ascended up to heaven because I had pink Yoshi and pink Yoshi platforms go upwards. It looked funny, but unfortunately we've lost that one. So we head back on into Pina Park. Apologies again if the voice is a little weird. I'm still technically sick. I'm not super sick, but it's clear that stuff's in the system. But day by day, getting a little bit better, which is very fortunate. I have been lucky in that regard. I will say that much. I've been pretty lucky with getting sick, so hopefully I don't have long-term issues, but it's just really, really unfortunate that, in all fairness, Australia has been incredibly slack when it winds up coming to sort of longer-term management of the current pandemic, but I suppose I shouldn't get too much into politics. In all fairness, it does actually give me an opportunity to castigate both sides about things. But just how it winds up playing out. I just have to do my best, make sure I don't push it. That is something I definitely need to do. I probably don't need to push myself trying to get in exercise each day. I can actually rest for a bit. It would be a nice opportunity to rest for a bit because I do like to go for long walks and things, but sometimes you just gotta have a rest in the long term. Everyone needs time off. Anyway, we've got Yoshi. And as far as I know, orange platforms do just stay here. Might have checked in. That was odd. So let's at least see what happens. Yeah, they just go nowhere. We only get one coin out of it, which is a little sad. Now, this sucked. This took me a long time to do last time. This was really annoying. Even with Flood, I thought I lost a whole lot of lives, but I guess I just wound up basically going into a panic because so many times I screwed up the jumps at the end. 13, unlucky for some. Now, it is interesting. Before I go on to the coins, actually, I'll see if I can talk about it while I'm doing the coins. Interestingly, in superstition for Australian cricketers, 87 is said to be the unlucky one, the devil's number, because, you know, you're 13 away from a century. However, it is genuinely interesting to note that more Australian cricketers have been dismissed on 99 than 87, the most famous being Shane Warne, who was famously dismissed off what would later be shown to be a no ball in a test match against New Zealand. And, of course, the guy who caught him had to do a bit of a theatrical bow to the crowd, because you know what we're like. We in New Zealand, we've got a healthy rivalry. We're essentially like brothers poking fun at each other. And I like that relationship with New Zealand, in all fairness. Like, we might bag each other a bit, but when push comes to shove, we're always ready to help each other out. I mean, let's face it, you don't have Anzac without New Zealand. And so, yeah, there was that. And it interestingly made Warne the test batsman with the most runs without an individual test century. It's kind of a strange achievement, but just one of those things. So we got that there, and this one here. Right, now I have to not die. This has actually gone a fair bit smoother. I suppose because I've got the experience. I've got that little bit of practice, so this episode might not be quite as long. There we go. So yeah, Warnie had the most test runs without scoring a century and was perhaps the most famous Australian to be dismissed on 99. The most famous duck in Australian history was Bradman's duck in his last test, which basically ensured that he finished with that average just below 100. Basically, Bradman scored 100 runs, effectively scored just under 100 runs per dismissal. That's how a test batsman's average is calculated. It's runs scored divided by the number of times dismissed. Bradman scored 6,996 runs across 80 innings, but 10 of those were not out. So it's effectively 6,996 divided by 70. Not bad. In the 52 he scored well over 100 runs, well over 100 runs each test. The guy was phenomenal. Essentially, England created an entirely new style of bowling, what was essentially heavy focus on... This requires a lot of explanation. Heavy focus on leg side bowling, basically where the batsman is at the stumps. They've got their bat, which is the offside, depends on which hand they hold it in, and the leg side, which is obviously where their legs are. Very fast-paced leg side bowling designed to injure them, to force them to fend off the ball and make it easy to catch them, or they hurt themselves. Basically, it was considered unsporting, but it was such a desperate attempt to stop an incredibly effective player. It's kind of like my brother can tell you more about it because he knows more about basketball than I do, the Detroit Pistons and their Jordan rules. Whoop. Going back this way. It's hard to tell where he's going to run sometimes. But yeah, basically, Bradman was just, like, that good. He only hit a couple of sixes in his whole career because he followed the philosophy of hit it along the ground and you take one of the methods of dismissals away, you're not going to get caught. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Shadow Mario does have an extended health bar each time you chase him, so it's just bothersome more than anything else. Has he... There we are. Almost every time I mention that, I finally wind up getting him. And Electro Cooper's still trying to kill me. But yeah, there we are. So basically, Bradman's average is pretty much unparalleled. It's I can't really put it in baseball terms because they're so different, but it's essentially a domination of scoring in his chosen game to the point opposing bowlers had to come up with a strategy that involved physical injury to try and stop it. And even then, Bradman was still that good, but he just finished up with that final duck when he needed only 4 runs to get to an average of exactly 100. 99.94 is perhaps the most famous number in Australian sport, to the point it's believed that the ABC headquarters, its post office box or locked bag or whatever it is of 9994 is said to be a reference to Bradman. So to give you an idea, even Sachin Tendulkar, easily one of the greatest cricketers of all time, probably the best batsman of the modern era, hands down. The guy just played for ages. It shows how much Test cricket is actually played. I think he's got the record for the most runs scored. He's a phenomenal batsman. But his average is like, low 60s basically? Bradman, in terms of average, is that far above everyone else. With his proficiency and modern technology and the length of time in which Test cricketers could play, because you have to remember Bradman's career was also partly interrupted by World War II. You just wonder, with all the conveniences of modern cricket, just how much further could Bradman have gone? How much more of a domination could there be? And then in terms of bowlers, we have Shane Warne and Matthias Muralitharan as the leading wicket takers for spinners. I think Australia's Nathan Lyon is the leading off spinner. There are leg spinners and off spinners. It's different styles of spin bowling, whereas fast bowling is generally varied by what sort of pace you had. It's not quite as bad as in the 1970s and 80s when you had a lot of people trying to kill you, it seemed. It's no wonder they added all the extra armour and things. Like, Jeff Thomson was said to enjoy hitting a batsman more than getting them out, and claimed he played better hungover. He always got fired up against England and was a devastating force. In fact, David Lloyd, the English cricketer, who became quite a popular commentator, he's generally a well-loved bloke, but Lloyd made the unfortunate boast that he could play Tomo with his cock after making a reasonable innings after the English got battered. Unfortunately for Lloyd, he copped one right in the box, which is basically your cup, your jockstrap, your groin protector. And they weren't very strong in those days, so it shattered. He got hit so hard it shattered, and bits got stuck in between the shattered plastic. Keeping in typical fashion, Lloyd pretty much claimed he proved his point that he could play Tomo with his cock, but God, that had to have hurt. And then the West Indies of the 1980s. They're a bit of a joke in cricket now, but by God, they were ferocious. Like, cricketers still had armour and things, but their high speed and devastating force was incredible. They were some of the best wicket takers out there. And they did not like it if you tried to stand up to them. They'd just go in even harder. There was, I think it was Curtly Ambrose and Steve Waugh had a bit of a spat at one point when Waugh tried to fight back. There was no doubt Steve Waugh was not going to take a backward step. He was an incredible competitor. But they were seriously good. Like, you look at them now and they can be a bit of a rabble. There are still some good cricketers, but they were devastating back in the 1980s. And then when Australia became ascendant through the late 80s and the 90s, we didn't always have the rocket-like pace. Brett Lee certainly provided that, but in terms of fast bowling, we had Glenn McGrath as an absolute metronome. He was quick, but he was precise. He'd wear you down, he'd make you do something stupid, and if you had Warner and McGrath on the end, well, that was a recipe for English nightmares. The English have certainly had some really good bowlers along the way. Jimmy Anderson's, 40 and he's still going? Like, he's been incredibly consistent, and I don't think his name pops up enough in the discussions of great bowlers. Andrew Flintoff was incredibly handy, very much in the Ian Botham mould. And I've probably confused anyone from America who's watching. I'm getting really enthusiastic and probably should get back to what I'm meant to be doing. You can tell it's kind of padding, but now this is a really, really nice touch. The fact that the Nockies are really, really kind to you. And it is interesting to note that, yes, I do rag on the Piantas for a bit, but if I can stop and start rambling again. The Piantas in Delfino Plaza and Bianco Hills are the ones who are nastiest to Mario. The ones in Sirena Beach, the manager of the hotel does say that Mario looks very capable and is actually quite nice to him. The ones in Pianta Village, I didn't realise this. I thought they were all jerks. But they're actually nice to Mario as well. They do acknowledge that he's very helpful. The only one who isn't very nice to him is a woman who doesn't take care of her chain chomp pets very well, which is, well, I suppose it's kind of a problem because we effectively drown the things, as you'll wind up finding out later. Now we have a balloon burst game. So let's get onto it. This requires me to be a good shot with water rockets. We have to pop 20 balloons before we make 3 laps. This can be difficult. Especially if you're like me and you went to Stormtrooper school. That's a good shot. Alright. It's away! So far, so good. Some of them you'll have to make really wild shots to try and get. Well, I got one. Point blank shot. Let's get those ones. Not bad. That's point blank. I think I'm running... I'm going at a pretty good clip, I'll have to say. 13 of them on the first lap. Gotta sight myself just right. That's a good shot. That's not... Oh, close, close. Some of them are just so hard to get because the roller coaster is sending you and your stomach in all different directions and you don't have the best opportunity to aim. Alright, so it's a little tough. And that means I go into concentration. Oh, come on. Alright, so... 2 more to go. One more. One more pass. Yep, missed that one. Oh, that would have made a great finish. There we go. Nice shooting there. I see it, Wedge. Good work. Now, it is also worth remembering that if you get that one wrong, you die. If you don't succeed, they will casually murder you. Even if the Nockie are incredibly nice to you, they will still casually murder you for failing. That's brutal. It's really, really brutal. Oh. Wahoo, thank you. Oh, now, damn it, there's something I've got to show you next time. Something that I kind of forgot about. But we will move on to Sirena Beach, which I wound up opening. So you can definitely see that different things wind up happening as you complete more Shine Sprites throughout the game. We can see that on this backup file, Isle Delfino is a lot, well, darker. It's not quite as bright. It is really nice to note that they do have those little changes along the way. I haven't unlocked the criteria for the rocket nozzle and the turbo nozzle, so we're stuck without those. We also don't have our bright sunshine. We'll get back to the main file in due course, but I might put together my blue coin guides when we get a bit further on. This file will still come in handy, which means I have to do a lot of really crappy things again. But of course you can see over there, so it's just above the left-hand nozzle of Flood. Yoshi is sitting on his rooftop. Let's go into Sirena Beach. Episode 1, The Manta Storm. Now, I didn't mention this in the original recording, but a friend of mine actually pointed out that Phantomanta, the boss in this level, is actually supposed to be a reference to The Shining. I'm not exactly sure sort of how it works because I'm not very familiar with Stephen King's works. I did read it for Year 11 literature, and that's probably one of the few things that has, like, seriously spooked me out. It was good reading, but boy, it was freaky. Certainly knows his stuff. Now, you can get a blue coin off in the ocean there. But I'm not going to worry about that. I'm not worrying about blue coins on this file. You'll be able to pick some up by spraying various torches. I will still have the collection I had on the main file, but I do tend to get very distracted by running off and chasing blue coins. So that'll probably make the episode a bit easier for people. Because you won't have any distractions, this one's sort of stripped down. But I do recommend that you clear out all the electric goop. This basically has the same effect as being hit by an Electro Cooper. For some reason, Piantas don't seem to be heavily affected. They can sort of stand in it and they're fine. Which I suppose if they're plant people kind of makes sense because wood is, at the very least, I'll clean these Noki. But I'm not going to get the coin from them. You get blue coins for cleaning them. Don't pick up any of the coins that appear unless they pop up from the electric gunge as well. Basically, if Piantas really are plant-based, because their name is pretty much plant, then it would make sense that they're not really affected by electric goo, because wood is not a good conductor of electricity. I mean, sure, the intense heat is going to wind up sundering a tree if it gets hit by lightning. But, wait, hang on. Wait a moment. It looks like it looks like it was going through the roof. Huh. There we go. So we've got a couple of angry tourists because the hotel has disappeared. Now, I probably will wind up just sort of running through. I might actually go back to the runaway Ferris wheel at one point. Because from that top part of Peanut Park, you can literally see every level but Noki Bay in the game. I'll probably do it right at the end of the recording session. But tell you what, I'll stick a screenshot up there now because I'm just running around cleaning all the gunk. You can see. I'll basically just have the footage coming over the top while I'm still rambling on. You can see. Well, at least I'll put the images up. You can see Sirena Beach because if you look over there, you can clearly see Peanut Park. You can also see the walls of Bianco Hills. You can see Rico Harbour. You can see Delfino Plaza off from that. You can see Gelato Beach, which is actually off to this side of Sirena Beach. Basically, if you head around the Cape there, you would be able to see Gelato Beach. And you can also see around to... I said you can see around to Delfino Plaza because that's near Rico Harbour. And you can actually see the trees that hold up Pianta Village. This is really interesting. The only one we can't see... Well, basically... Yeah, the only one we cannot see from Pina Park is Noki Bay. And that's because Noki Bay is over the other side of the island. Pianta Village is in the mountains around here. So you can look straight out at Gelato Beach, see Sirena Beach, Rico Harbour, Bianco Hills, and Delfino Plaza. The screenshots have been evidence. But that's really, really cool. Like, it's not very often that you do get that sort of integration. It really does help bring the idea of this being effectively one interconnected island into realization. It's actually incredibly clever as far as I'm concerned. It's like, I will be ragging on this game a lot because it does have its flaws, let's be honest. It is jank as all get out in many, many ways. And in a couple of episodes' time, you are going to witness my sanity disintegrating as I deal with the pachinko machine. And it probably doesn't get much better when it comes to dealing with what the game calls King Boo. I go into a bit of an explanation about that, but basically, this is ultimately one big interconnected world. And it's very clever that you can often see different levels from the one you're currently in. It's like, you look at the water effects, this is a GameCube game and it still has some of the most beautiful water effects going around. Just overall, the graphics in this game are so beautiful. We've gone from test cricket to video game graphics. So these two are angry that the hotel has just disappeared. Let's talk to an actual helpful Pianta. Now, I do rag on the Piantas a lot. I don't hate them just because they're Piantas. That's not fair. I hate them because they're frequently portrayed as complete idiots who are incredibly useless. And the more I find out about the helpful ones, the better I feel about them. Oh, please tell me my nightmare is over. You can save me. No, there's the volcano of Corona Mountain in the background, covered by the text. I don't know why, but you just look very capable to me. Listen, it all started around noon. This giant mantis-shaped thing showed up. It was this paper-thin floating silhouette. It came and covered the hotel grounds in this electric goop. Then, oh, the horror! My beautiful hotel! My poor building! It sank in the middle of that awful ooze. Why me? Why? Oh, now I've got the staff cleaning up, but where's my hotel? What am I supposed to do? I can't just sit back and... Oh! It's back! That Gossamer Ghoul! Do something! So that's why we want to clean the area. Phantom Anta leaves a trail of gunge. We get a slightly darker version of the mini-boss theme. Let's rumble. So the trick to taking on Phantom Anta is to hit it with water. Give it a solid soaking, and it will eventually start splitting. So, it'll leave a lot of gunge trails around, which is why you want to keep your coins around. If you get hurt, you want to be able to restock your health. It keeps splitting up into smaller and smaller versions. So, there's going to be a mess of gunge around the place, and they'll generally move in mostly random directions. Pick your battles. Find the right location and fight. The hover nozzle is generally the best tactic because you're above their attacks. Once you get rid of the larger units, the smaller ones will actually start chasing you down. It's a little stressful, but it's also a good mechanic because it means that you're not having to run around looking for one or two in a complete mess. So, exercise patience and caution. This is a fight where you're in it for the long haul. Use your resources wisely. Whoops. Landed right on it. And yeah, I definitely do recommend using the hover nozzle where you can. The spray nozzle does work pretty well, but it can suffer from terrain issues. Like, if you're running up a hill, you might not get the aim just right. They've all scurried off somewhere. Rightio! So, they will home in on us once we've got all of the larger ones dispatched. You can use the spin to try and hit them from a distance. But you'll just want to lash out, strike them where you can. Fortunately, the goo they leave behind will disappear once you wind up defeating the last one. It's a challenging mission first time around, but once you build the tactics and the experience, it's pretty cool. Just make sure you've got plenty of water on hand, and you'll be right. Right, they're still homing in on us. Oof. That was a bit of a shock. Whoa, I got comboed there. Mario's voice clips also get a little more exhausted when he's at low health, which is a fairly neat touch. So they're still chasing us, but this is why you leave those coins. Just got a couple to go. And there we are. The electric goo disappears, and the hotel rises from the ground. Seems like a good spot to wrap this episode up, and we don't really have a lot, because I think this was where I wrapped up that episode originally. Seems like a good spot to set things up, and what does this gentleman have to say? Fantastic! You're amazing! You're my hero! I was just flapping my gums about getting rid of that thing. I didn't believe you'd actually do it! So there we are. Now they're a bit bewildered by the fact the hotel has just reappeared. But there we are. We have managed to blitz our way through, and we are ready to undertake the trials in Hotel Delfino. Or should we... This is obviously a much better version of Hotel Mario. So I will leave with these wise words from Hotel Mario before we part for the next level. You know what they say, all toasters toast toast. Till next time, this is Red 2, returning to base.